All right, Locked on Longhorns, the show once again. Jonathan Davis and Lacey Butler, your host. Five-star wide receiver Kaliq Lockett committed to the 40 acres yesterday, listed at 6'2", 175 pounds out of Is it Sash? Sash? Do you know how to say it?
Saxy.
Say it again.
Saxy.
Saxy. That's sexy.
Yep.
Saxy. Listed at 6'2", 175 pounds out of Saxy High School, ranked in the 24/7 composite at number 20 in the country, number 5 wide receiver overall. Last season, he accumulated 59 catches for 1,299 yards. That's 22 yards per reception and 13 touchdowns on just 59 catches. And now the University of Texas. Sark told y'all not to worry. We have the 12th overall recruiting class for 2025. And once again, we are climbing towards that top 10 and inevitably that top 5. What do you think about the commitment of Kaliq Lockett to the University of Texas, Lacey?
Big get, not only for Steve Sarkisian in Texas, just in general, but it's Chris Jackson's first wide receiver commit of the cycle. So obviously it's a big time get. Losing out on Decorian Moore in your backyard is never, ever a good thing. But whenever you have a guy like Kaliq Lockett just sitting in the wings, ready to pick back Weddy. I said Weddy. Ready to just pick back up. Ready to just pick back up. You're not really too mad at it, right? I know you mentioned a lot of his measurables and everything. This guy has 11-inch hands. That I don't know if you were watching his commitment video earlier. What was it, yesterday? Earlier in the day yesterday. And but when he was talking, that mic was sitting there in his hands. It looked like, those little mini mics that people have in their little street interviews and everything. That's what it looked like in that dude's hands. Like, just huge hands, really long wingspan. Like I said, Chris Jackson's first commitment of his first real true full cycle at the University of Texas, with him arriving in February of last year. Lockett played varsity as a freshman out at Saxy High School. I don't know if you guys, some of you guys might recognize Saxy High School as home of Devin Duvernay. Obviously, we know that name very well. Yes, sir. We know that very well, but very talented school. And that guy is playing as a freshman. He's playing varsity as a freshman. So obviously this guy has been good for a really long time. Not necessarily the fastest guy of the bunch, but his catch radius and his body control are amongst the top in the country, and part of just a simple part of what makes him such an elite prospect. His ability to adjust to the football in the air and contort his body is just unlike very many others in this class. And like I said, not necessarily the fastest guy, but he is truly one of those 50-50 pass catchers. Pass catchers. But Texas and Chris Jackson did a very good job winning out in the long run versus teams like Alabama, LSU, A&M, really coming in hot towards the end of this recruitment. So much needed win out of our own backyard, but I'm just really excited to see how he's able to be incorporated into what Sark and company are already doing on the field with the wide receivers and everything like that. So I'm just so excited that, like I said, much needed. Texas fans can breathe for a second, right?
Yeah, no, I certainly agree. Huge pickup, like you said, when you lose to Decorian Moore, when there's all this talk about the recruiting class not being in the top 5, immediately, right? And what are we doing? And we're coming off of a conference championship win and a playoff appearance, and things are slow. And Sark worries about these things a lot less than we do, right? But fan is short for fanatic, so that's our job, and he does his job, and that's why Kaliq Lockett is at the University of Texas. When he gave that quote about early in his commitment, because I haven't been, as intense in terms of following recruiting with this 2025 class, but I saw the quote where he said, "I'm going to the school that gives me the best chance to be drafted in the first round as a wide receiver." I was like, oh, he's going to the University of Texas, right? Of course, we had Xavier Worthy last year, and then you had those 4 Alabama wide receivers that went in the first round, but Steve Sarkisian was the one coaching them up, right? And so it's like Sark, is the meal ticket right now. If you want to go high in the draft as a wide receiver, you want to play for Sark. And, we've always talked about how you don't worry about wide receivers in terms of recruitment. while Sark is here. You don't worry about quarterbacks in terms of recruitment while Sark is here.
Yeah.
The best players in terms of pass catchers and pass throwers, right, want to play in this offense. They want to be a part of this offense. The
It's
Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers, right? The Kaliq Locketts and, hopefully Decorian Moore, even though I know he shut down his recruitment, right? But, they want to play.
Ryan Wingo.
Yeah, Ryan Wingo. There
The
you
Ryan
go.
Wingos.
Exactly. They want to play in this offense. So, it's good to see Kaliq Lockett come on board. And, he should be the next great or one of the next great wide receivers at the University of Texas. When I watched this tape, when I turned on, the highlight tape, first of all, no disrespect to, the Saxy football players or, the quarterback. I don't know if he's still the quarterback or not. But like the first 2 minutes of the highlight tape, like they were all tough catches. I'm like, damn, is any ball gonna get dropped in the bucket? You know what I'm saying? Like every catch he had to jump up and get it. It was behind him, you know what I mean? Whatever, but he was still making the catch, right? And I'm just like, damn, can he get an easy one? Right.
His catch radius is insane.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's probably why he's the number 20 recruited to catcher, because you don't have to throw him a perfect ball. He's still gonna come
toss
down
it up to him and he's gonna come down with it.
Exactly. So just insane concentration, ability to make tough catches, just out there mossing people left and right. Right. If you haven't typed in Kaliq Lockett highlights on YouTube, please go do that. I love the nuance in his routes, right? A lot of times, especially at that age, it's just easy to get open, right? You're probably way more athletic than everybody you're playing against. You're playing against podcasters like me, accountants, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Future.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not going against any 5-star corners, right? If he is, he's probably not going against a bunch of them. So
not very many,
But you watch the highlight tape, man, he does a good job of really getting open, right? Like really breaking down at the top of routes, accelerating, decelerating, really fluid in and out of his movements, right? And so he does a really good job of running his routes, right? And getting open, knows where to get to on the field, and then, position himself to make the catch. And then like any receiver, Steve Sarkisian goes after. He's a really good deep threat. His longest catch last year went for 94 yards, right? So that's essentially the entirety of the field, right? And that's why he averaged 22 yards per reception. So somebody that just looks like a complete receiver, that'll be coming to the 40 acres. You talked about it. Maybe not, the fastest, not an Xavier Worthy type burner, but certainly enough speed to get the job done. But yeah, you just put the ball anywhere in his catch radius and he's coming down with it, right? And so a really good wide receiver, that Arch Manning and, Trey Owens and KJ Lacey and Diabell or whoever, right? Maybe not Diabell, but whoever will get to throw to at the 40
hopefully,
acres.
I don't know. Will he be there long enough?
Well, I don't know. The way we're stacking the wide receiver room, he may come in 2025, but he may not play until 2020. I don't know. Whoever, there's going to be a really good quarterback at the 40 acres throwing on the ball. And obviously, Steve Sarkisian is just a wizard pulling the strings. So, Kaliq Lockett, like you said, we needed to win. Just an outstanding football player, an outstanding wide receiver. He has everything that Sark, values in a wide receiver in his offense. And we both can't wait to see him making exceptional plays at the 40